Okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I'm Nate, and if you watch my show, you're in my corner. Today's episode is a post-fight show for UFC 214, Cormier vs. Jones 2, the rematch of the century for the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship of the world. And, yeah, I was at this event, and I will tell you guys all about it, but I will tell you guys all about my experience at UFC 214 in another episode. Otherwise, this will be a really long episode. So for this episode, I'll just do a quick rundown of primarily the main card and some other matches. So let's get started. The UFC Light Heavyweight Championship of the World was on the line. In the main event, Jon Jones trying to reclaim the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship of the World against Daniel Cormier, who has been reigning defending champion for quite some time. And I thought this was going to be like the first fight where Jones would win by unanimous decision and kind of just use that reach and work the jab and circle around and not stay in the pocket and avoid takedowns and still land some strikes. DC was doing good getting inside the reach of Jones in those first couple rounds, but yeah, once the third round hit, it was it looked like DC was going to win maybe round 3, and then all of a sudden KO head kick and punches in the third round, 3 minutes and 1 second. Jon Jones gets it done, gets the belt back, and is essentially a 3-time UFC light heavyweight champ because he won it from Shogun, and then he won the interim belt against OSP, and then now this. So essentially a 3-time UFC light heavyweight champ, and pretty impressive record and accolades in his career now at this point. So it was an explosive, exciting fight. I was on the edge of my seat when DC was getting inside the reach of Jon Jones. I wasn't sure if it's going to be Jon Jones Snyder or not, but then Jon Jones pulled off the big victory and got the job done. Love this fight. I was screaming. I lost my voice from screaming so much. I was cage side at this one, and wow, amazing. And then in the co-main event in the welterweight division, we had the UFC Welterweight Championship of the World on the line. Tyron Woodley defending against Damian Maia, a submission guru, as many of you know. And Tyron Woodley looked phenomenal in terms of avoiding being taken down. And then he was able to land jabs each round. But, I mean, it wasn't the most exciting fight. However, it was impressive in the sense that Tyron Woodley was avoid being taken down 21 times out of 21 times. That's impressive. Other than that, I sympathize with the fans that were booing. I don't blame them. I don't blame Dana White for being upset. I would be upset too. Tyron Woodley did what he had to do. It is what it is. And Damian Maia should have threw more strikes, I think, because there was some times when he was landing and it looked like Woodley was not expecting it, and if Damian Maia just threw more strikes and was less predictable, then Maia may have gotten a takedown or knocked Woodley down and then get on top of him and jump in his guard and then do his thing. But yeah, Maia just kept going for the takedowns and bum rushing him, and it wasn't working, and then he just repeated the process, you know, each of the rounds, and then Woodley just kept doing what he was doing, and it kept working. So, you know, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So the fight turned out, you know, the way it did, but nonetheless, Woodley squeaked out the win, and it is what it is. It's not the most exciting fight, but it's okay. I mean, anyhow, Tyron Woodley won unanimous decision, 50-45, 49-46, and 49-46. And then we go into the women's featherweight clash for the UFC Women's Featherweight Championship. Cyborg versus Tanya for the vacant UFC welterweight, for the vacant UFC Featherweight Championship, Women's Featherweight Championship. Yeah, Cyborg got it done. She dominated. She dominated Evinger all the first 2 rounds, hands down, and then the third round, she just did her thing again and then finished her. It was amazing. Cyborg is one of my favorite fighters. She's one of the nicest people I've ever met. and I couldn't be happier for her. And yeah, TKO punches, TKO knees, round 3, 1 minute 56 seconds into the third round. Cyborg did her thing, and yeah, I predicted, I think, first or second round knockout on my pre-fight show, so I was a round or two off, but nonetheless, I got this fight correct on who won. And Cyborg, I think, will have a decent title reign, and it's going to be hard to pick a worthy opponent for Cyborg at this point to find a worthy challenger for the belt. It was fun to watch Evinger just have a lot of heart, though, and not give up, and then Cyborg going for it. I mean, it kept it interesting, it kept the dynamics interesting, and I was impressed by Tanya Evinger's heart, and I think she's going to have a great run at bantamweight. And then in the welterweight division, also on the main card, we have Robbie Lawler versus Donald Cerrone. On this one, I said on my pre-fight show Lawler would win, and sure enough he did. It was 29-28 across the board unanimous decision win for Robbie Lawler. Robbie Lawler was good in the clinch, and Cerrone was good at keeping it, the distance, and he landed some great kicks. And it was a back and forth battle. Very entertaining. I'm not the biggest fan of decision fights. However, this is one of those exceptions where I enjoyed it. I was on the edge of my seat. The crowd was going back and forth, and it was just an amazing fight. But yeah, it was pretty much a stand-up war, just like I thought, and there's virtually no ground game on this fight, and it was pretty much a kickboxing fight to a large extent, and amazing fight. Yeah, Robbie Lawler gets it done, unanimous decision. Then in the light heavyweight division, we had, to kick off the main card, we had Vulcan Osimir versus Jimmy Manuel. And I picked Jimmy Manuel by first round knockout, but I only gave him a 51% chance, like I said on my pre-fight show. Vulcan, I gave a 49% chance of winning this fight by decision. I figured if he would win this, he would just constantly take Manuel down. And wow, to everyone's shock and all, KO punches round 1, 42 seconds. Vulcan knocks out Jimmy Manuel. Didn't see that coming. Vulcan is a top contender at the light heavyweight division in the UFC, as far as I'm concerned, and many people's concerned. And he should be right there in title mix. If he doesn't get a title shot in his next fight, I say give him one more fight, and then if he wins that, you can't deny him a title fight at that point. I mean, the guy's proven himself against several top 10 light heavyweights and dominated all of them. It's very, very, very impressive. This guy is the real deal. Any doubters have been shut down, and I was never a big doubter on him except for when he first entered the UFC. But after that, I was like, this guy has potential, and then after that, I was like, this guy really is the real deal. Yeah, so that wraps up the main card, and then honorable mention on the prelims, the featherweight clash with Ricardo Lamas and Jason Knight. Big fan of both those fighters, and I want to see Jason Knight make a comeback. Good luck, Jason Knight, if you're watching this. On your next fight, I will be watching, and I'm sure you will learn from this loss. And Ricardo Lamas, he's a tough, durable veteran, and then, yeah, he's definitely back up there in the rankings. Then, Aljamain Sterling, Renan Barão was a fun fight in the prelims at catchweight at 140. And then, yeah, Brian Ortega, Renato Moicano. That was a great featherweight clash, submission guillotine choke in the third round. Didn't see that coming. I thought it was going to be a decision at that point. It was so late in the third round. But yeah, this is amazing card top to bottom from the first prelim to the main event. Every match was just phenomenal. Couldn't really complain. I mean, yeah, people could debate the co-main event, but outside of that, every match delivered. I think every fighter on this card should get bonuses. It was just an amazing night. And yeah, stay tuned for my episode where I talk about my trip to UFC 214. And until that episode, see ya.